Hey everybody, thanks for joining here. We're gonna get started in a few minutes. Just gonna wait for any late arrivals, so probably get going a minute or two after 1 o'clock. Okay, thank you all for joining. My name is Mike Weissman, and I appreciate you kind of taking the time, and hopefully you saw the email communication from us announcing the 24/7 features. We are excited about it. We try at CoachUp to figure out different ways that we can help you in your business, help you figure out how to connect with athletes, but then also, provide them the best service possible once you have connected. So we think that these features are trying to kind of fall into that second bucket a little bit more and give you a little bit more ability to coach your athletes up once you have connected with them, whether that's through CoachUp or your own means. We think that this is going to be a useful tool for you in order to provide a more full service experience for your athletes, and that's where the name is coming from, right? 24/7. You'll be able to create different workouts and send drills and provide your coaching services and expertise kind of around the clock whenever you and the client see fit, not necessarily just when it's convenient for you to meet in person with them. So as CoachUp coaches, you all have access to this dashboard that I'm showing you here now. There is a link within your CoachUp account. So if you go to your My CoachUp section within your CoachUp account, you'll see the link to get here, and then you'll also see the URL, coachup.gomax1.com. So again, you all have access to this now as a CoachUp coach, and all of the features that we'll go over. So just, real generally, what this is a way for you to train your clients by sending them videos or other pieces of content through a separate CoachUp 24/7 app that they can view on their end. So you want to think of this as a guided workout that a client can complete at home. the workout and the design of that is going to be up to you, as always. We kind of take the stance that you're the professional coach here, so we want to give you as many tools as possible, but the content of your coaching sessions and what you're telling the athletes, and we're going to leave that up to you, because you know what's best for them. So this is obviously coming at a time, it's not a coincidence that we've been working on this over the last few months with the current, pandemic. A lot of coaches on CoachUp and just in general, and a lot of athletes as well have, obviously been negatively impacted by their ability to coach in person, which is, really unfortunate for a variety of reasons. But on our end, it really made us evaluate, what can we be doing, first of all, to help with this immediately. But then also, we wanted to think of kind of more of a long-term strategy where we are going to be providing you the tools to withstand, different things like this that may happen to your coaching business. So we want to make you a little bit less vulnerable to, negative impacts from stuff like this. So that's where, a lot of this is coming from. In order to provide a new revenue stream for you, it's going to be a recurring monthly revenue stream. So even if you aren't able to meet in person for a couple months for whatever reason, unfortunately that does happen with coaches, whether it's an injury or maybe you're moving, things like that, it can create a really, a really negative impact for your personal business. So having something, a little bit of a protection there where you have this recurring income stream from these monthly subscriptions is hopefully going to help you through not only in the short term but going forward as well. So that's kind of number one, right? Is there are going to be clients right now who aren't comfortable meeting in person, and we want to give you a way to help get them better. So that's kind of bucket number one of where we see this helping. The second is one of the reasons, I know that one of the reasons, the main reason that many coaches use the CoachUp service is to meet new athletes, and to kind of leverage that marketing power that we have, which is great, and that we understand that, and we're happy to do that. But we want to kind of take that to the next level, where right now you are somewhat limited by the geography of who is in your immediate area for one-on-one services. So this is going to expand that reach for you. So if you choose to use this, we will be displaying you as an online coach and then going to clients and marketing those services. And we will do that to anyone, no matter what their location is. So, you're going to hopefully, once you kind of have all these tools up and running, you'll be able to meet athletes who maybe you wouldn't have otherwise had the opportunity to meet, and still help them get better from afar. And the third reason, and quite frankly, this is how I have been personally using this. I'm a baseball coach. I use the platform to meet athletes and work with athletes in the Boston area. And where we really see this, with our existing clients, is it's again providing like that 24/7 full service complimentary experience in addition to your one-on-one sessions. One of my biggest frustrations since I've been working as a CoachUp coach has been it can be very challenging sometimes to really make a huge impact on athletes when they are working with you. Even our top athletes, our top clients are working with us once a week. Some more, hopefully a lot, unfortunately, are much less than that. And I think that we all know as coaches, in order to really see meaningful improvement, like you need more work than that as an athlete. And so it can be really hard if the only time the athlete is training is during your one-on-one sessions. So what typically ends up happening is those clients will, whether they become part of a club program or maybe it's a facility in the area, they kind of are, working with multiple coaches at the same time, and seeking that way to get better outside of the one-on-one sessions as well, which, we understand, but we want to be more involved in in that outside training as well. So this is going to provide you an opportunity to be a little bit more top of mind for your clients in between those one-on-one sessions. So, early on, we kind of started using the term homework, and that's really what a lot of these are, is you're providing homework assignments for the athletes. I know personally, like after most of my one-on-one sessions, I'll say to the athlete, hey, great work today. I want you to go home and throw a couple more times before our next session, and I want you to work on these 3 or 4 things. I think that's very, very typical from most coaches, and what we aren't really doing is providing them specific ways in order to make that happen. Right, we're saying, hey, go do this homework, but now we're going to be able to describe it, we're going to be able to show it, and we're going to be able to hold those athletes accountable in order to, actually follow our instructions a little bit better, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'll walk you through some of the features that will hopefully allow us to accomplish these things. I will point you guys all in the direction that there should be a questions feature on your side, and I would encourage you definitely ask as many questions as you have about this as I go. I'll try to address them as I go, but I'll definitely work to get to them at the end as well. And if I can't get to them, I'll certainly follow up with everybody individually to make sure that we're all clear on how we see this being used and some of the functionality going on. All right. So first things first is pricing. Okay, so just like CoachUp, you're going to set your own price, and that price is going to be a monthly subscription. Okay, so clients are going to be paying a monthly subscription for those services that you provide to them. It'll work just like a gym membership where it can renew each month. You actually have the opportunity to do a monthly, quarterly, or yearly subscription. So, if you want to offer like a price break for signing up all at once, stuff like that, you have the ability to do that. And then again, what the actual services that they're getting for that, you can describe here. And then you'll be, essentially committing to providing, that amount of workouts or those, that content for the client. Once you set your rate, you'll see down here that you have a personal URL. Okay, so it works similar to your CoachUp profile. It's not quite as in-depth and descriptive, but it is a unique URL where the client is going to register with you. Okay, so that's where you'll be, that's what you'll be sending them in order to sign up for the subscription. Once you set your rate, that URL is also going to populate onto your CoachUp profile. So on your public CoachUp profile that clients view when they're booking a package with you, the CoachUp 24/7 option is going to be next to those package offerings. So they'll be able to, buy a 3-session in-person package, or they'll sign up for CoachUp 24/7. And, we expect that to be something that's probably communicated via the messaging system beforehand, what the particulars of that are. But just so you know, as you're thinking about, okay, how am I going to onboard clients onto this? That URL is where you're going to be sending them. Okay. Some of the financials, so the revenue sharing, the fee structure. So there's no cost to, there's no like startup cost or anything like that. It's similar to your CoachUp sessions in that there is a revenue share. It is dissimilar in that there's no tier to it. So it's just going to be a straight 84-16% split. Okay, so any subscription that's paid through CoachUp 24/7, you'll receive 84% of. And we're not going to look at who the client is. We're not going to look at how long they've been working with you, how many months that they've been subscribed with you. It's just 16% straight through. Okay, and so just some of the, I like to try and give some background on the thought process there. Right, on CoachUp, the fee is higher up front, because we feel like the value that we're providing is in that initial meeting, in those first few sessions, convincing the client that this is an experience that they want to be a part of. And then it goes down to that lower fee after those first few sessions, because after those first few sessions, you're the one providing all of that value and encouraging them to come back. Right after those first few sessions, it's really the payment processing and insurance and the sessions, the calendar and the tools. On this, we have the full delivery system. And it's not about necessarily matching you up with the client. So there's not going to be a heavy upfront fee. But it's going to be, that recurring fee because, we are the ones managing and providing the actual tools to deliver the coaching here. Okay. So we'll get into actually how to kind of build out the online offerings and how to distribute to them to the clients now. So again, most of this is going to be based on video. So essentially what you're doing here is you are going to be uploading training videos of every drill that you could possibly do, okay? And that's gonna live under your training library section here. Okay, so we call these activities, okay? And there's 3 general sections for the activities. There's skill development, so skills and drills. There's strength and conditioning, dynamic warm-ups, maybe post-session conditioning. And then there's educational materials. So that's going to be more, maybe you read a really good article that you thought would be useful on, the mindset that the athlete should have going into a game. Maybe, for me as a pitching coach in baseball, it's going to be a lot of like different pitches and different situations that you might throw those pitches. For football, maybe it's more film review and, different concepts on, different schemes, that kind of stuff, different strategies, etc. So you'll be able to kind of bucket all of your training content into these 3 sections here, okay? And when you're actually going to upload an individual drill, all you'll do is you'll hit this plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, okay? You can name it, describe it, okay? And then you're just gonna be uploading a file from your device. If you already have content on YouTube, Vimeo, or Wisnian, you can actually just upload the URL from there, which is a pretty easy feature. But generally, you're probably going to be taking these right off of just the device that you're using to upload. Okay, so you're just going to take the file, put it up in here, and then it's good to go. You can also tag, so you can tag it, organize it in different ways so that ultimately the goal here is going to be you have dozens, maybe 50, 100 training videos. You're going to want some organizational tactics in there to make your life easier, so you're not always trying to find each video. Some interesting stuff here. So again, you can categorize in these 3 sections. You can enable the performance leaderboard. And what that is, basically you're going to assign a point value, and then when the athlete's completing this drill, they get that many points. Once they get, and then you'll be able to track that on your end. So you can gamify it a little bit, maybe see which athletes are most engaged. And the other useful thing is that because it is a monthly subscription, you'll be able to see who's not completing the workouts, and then maybe ping them and say, hey, do you need me to reassign this? Or are you still interested in working together, that kind of thing. So you'll be able to track the level of engagement that the athletes are having there. Okay. So the way I like to think about this is these are the building blocks to the workouts that you're going to be assigning, right? So you want to think of these individual videos as being super short, and very individual drill oriented. Okay, so you don't need to do an entire workout into these areas here, and I'll show you the next section shortly, where you'll hopefully understand it a little bit. But think of these as, again, 20-second, 30-second, maybe a minute, depending on the drill. Quick hitter. Okay, this is one drill that we do. These are a couple things to avoid, couple things to focus on. And again, very, very short, maybe with some minimum voiceover. And, I can definitely speak to, when I haven't done anything like this before using this tool. I'm definitely not a huge, get in front of a camera and film myself talking kind of person. But I had a buddy come down and film me on an iPhone. And, once I kind of got started, it went pretty quick, and it was a little bit more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. So, I've been talking to coaches and have experienced it myself about, kind of, getting these features up and running. The screen you're looking at now for the training libraries is going to be the most important part for you. As coaches, we all have a ton of experience, knowledge, and information in our heads. The success of this product is going to depend on your ability to get all of that experience and knowledge into a format that clients can actually see and use to get better. So these videos, that's kind of the crux of it, okay? And it is a decent amount of work to get up and running, but once you get started on it, it's really it's not too bad, and it's kind of fun actually. You'll find that some of the the voiceovers and everything, the instruction, it's stuff that you've done 100 times in just a different way. And once you kind of get it flowing, it goes pretty quick. Okay. So once you have all of these individual drills, these building blocks into the account, you'll go here down to workouts and training, and you'll actually create a workout. Okay. And so you can name the workout. Everything that you've uploaded into your training libraries, you'll see over here. Okay. And then it's just a matter of dragging and dropping the drills that you've uploaded into your workout. Okay. This is just a quick example. This is not a workout that I would actually assign, but you can edit your sets and your reps. Okay. So you can add training blocks. So maybe, block 1 is going to be a dynamic warm up. Block 2 is going to be more of your skill time. Block 3 might be your conditioning at the end. Something along those lines. You can edit, again, you can edit your sets and reps. Name, describe the workout, and save. Okay. So once you create the workout, you'll actually be able to assign those workouts to your athletes. Okay, all of your athletes will populate down here. So this is an athlete that I've been working with, Austin. All of the workouts that you've created will populate down here. Okay, so I'm going to assign a pitching workout for Austin for tomorrow. Okay, I'm not going to actually assign it because I don't want him to have to do that tomorrow. Right, but you will be able to assign on a specific date for a specific athlete from the workouts that you've created here. Okay. In all of these workouts, and this is kind of a recurring theme here, and I'll get into this a little bit more in a second. All of the workouts that you create, all of the drills that you upload, it all saves, right? So the idea here is you're building this resource center of all of these different sessions that you can do, all of these different drills for different types of athletes who are working on different things, but it's all saving, right? So, eventually you're going to have all of this information and be able to reassign to somebody who's working on a similar thing to an athlete you've already worked with. So it's all designed with the idea in mind to be very, very scalable. All right. So when you're thinking about building your business and, okay, what's the cost of me getting a new client and how many, what's my expected revenue from that client? Maybe your average client does 10 sessions with you, and that means a certain amount of money for you. It also requires a certain amount of time on your end, and that time doesn't really change no matter how many athletes you work with, right? That next athlete booking a 10-session package, that's 10 hours of your time, no matter what. Whereas, this is trying to be designed with that next athlete that comes in and subscribes, maybe they subscribe for 10 months on average. It's not, that incremental work for you is not like it is for your in-person sessions because you already have all of these workouts built out in the account. And yeah, you might customize it a little bit depending on some feedback from that particular athlete and what they need to work on. But for the most part, a lot of the assignments are going to be repeating themselves over time. Okay, and going again off that scalability piece, you can actually create a workout program instead of an individual workout. So if you're down here in the build program, all of the workouts that you've created will show up here, and you can design a program, drag and drop. again here. Okay, so this is going to be useful if you have, maybe you have, when the date for tryouts are for that athlete sport, and it's like an off-season program, and they need to be at a certain level of fitness in order to compete properly. And it's going to take about 12 weeks in order to get them in shape. The workout piece of that is going to be pretty similar no matter who that athlete is. And you can actually create that workout program and assign all 12 weeks of that workout program and all 50 workouts all at once to that client. So again, it's trying to limit the amount of clicks and the amount of work that it's taking for you to actually assign to your athletes. We don't want you in here every single day spending an hour or two assigning 100 different workouts to different clients. That's definitely not the intention on this. Okay. Let's see here. So we have a couple of good questions coming in. So again, just a reminder, feel free to continue to ask questions, and I'll take these as they come in here. Okay, great. So so when does it go live? Great question. So it's live now. So some of these features we are working on kind of integrating them a little bit more fully into the account, but this is fully live and fully functional as is. So if you log into your account now and go to the My CoachUp tab, you'll see you either activate this or manage it, depending on if you have already clicked through it. And you can follow that link in order to get here. And we actually already have coaches who are up and running and using this. We do typically when we release features, we test it out with a few coaches first to make sure everything's working properly and making some final tweaks. So we do have coaches already using this now. And if you do set your rate now, I do want to make you all aware that link will populate on your CoachUp profile now. So as you're testing things out and you're setting your subscription price, that's the thing that the action that makes the link populate on your CoachUp profile. So just make sure that you're ready to take this project on before setting your subscription price, because that will be displayed as an option to potential clients. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we have a question about the performance leaderboard. So I can go over that a little bit more here. So when you're uploading an activity, okay, if you enable the performance leaderboard, you can assign a point value for it. So then take this, so an arm strength, this drill, okay? If I were to enable the performance leaderboard on that and give it 5 points, once the athlete completes that, no matter what workout it's in, right? So all of these individual drills are going to be integrated into your workout. So when an athlete's going through and completing that workout and they complete each drill within it, they're getting the corresponding amount of leaderboard points for it. And again, it's just a fun way for you to kind of gamify it a little bit and see what the engagement level is. And it actually might help now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we can take a look at what the client's seeing here. Okay, so this is the client side 24/7 app. Okay, so as you assign them workouts, they'll see that in this section here, and this is what it'll look like. Okay, so they'll see their upcoming workouts and then the workout for that day. They'll be able to click into that workout and start it, and then they get the outline for it. Okay, and this is where the video and thumbnail comes in. Okay, so you will, if they click into it'll take them step by step through each activity that you've uploaded in that workout. So it'll say, okay, so this one you're doing straight leg pulls to start. Sounds like probably like a dynamic warm up at the beginning of the workout. They click done and next. It takes them to the next drill that you've assigned. Okay. Okay, so they're tutorial videos. So good question. So when you log into your account here, there are some training videos up at the top. And then this video will also be, you should receive a follow-up email with the webinar, link to the webinar and a recording of this. And then the other thing, and I'll mention this a little bit more at the end, but I'm also available anytime to go over all of this with you in a one-on-one setting. I obviously want to introduce it all, but hopefully you'll notice that I'm not going too in depth on each individual feature because there is a lot, and I totally get that. And I understand that you're probably not going to remember everything. So we do have some resources for you. And the other thing is that I am available to schedule some follow-up calls. We have some emails going out to you that will outline some of the features as well. And at the bottom of many of those emails that you'll be receiving over the next week or two will be a link to schedule some one-on-one time with me. So I'm happy to do that and go over this with you. Like with any new feature, right, we're going to be super excited to try and get you up to speed as fast as possible, especially because, and this is going along with what I was trying to say in the beginning, when we see coaches, businesses suffering because of something out of their control, and, it makes us evaluate, okay, what can we be doing? And we do, that's what we're trying to accomplish at CoachUp is help you run your business. So if we see something where there's a hole in your revenue ability and then we see a revenue opportunity like this, we're going to jump on that, and we're going to make sure that we're doing everything we can in order to get you up to speed, ASAP on it in order to help you drive revenue for it. All right. Okay, so yeah, great question here. Can athletes send us videos back of themselves doing the workouts? So great question. Unfortunately, I don't have a great answer for you. The answer is no, they can't right now. We do know that would be very useful for you. And that's something that, we've heard a little bit from coaches as being useful. So I would imagine that, as we try and continue to build on this, that might be something we incorporate. But I can't promise that that's something that we'll have anytime in the immediate future. What I would say is, again, it depends on the athlete that you're going to be using this with, but we are anticipating this being, a complementary thing with your existing one-on-one clients. So the athlete feedback portion and kind of you tracking their progress, you'll still be able to do in that in-person session, right? If it's more of a remote athlete, you might have to do a couple workarounds where, they're filming themselves and sending it back to you, which we know is not ideal, but it is one of those things where we know it would be helpful, but we want to get this out to you without that feature, even though it might not be perfect just yet. Yeah, so great question here. Do the drills need to be performed by the coach? So no, they do not. We've seen two different strategies here, and you're welcome to pick whichever you'd like. One is somebody comes down and films the coach doing it, and then the other is you filming an athlete. So, we all have athletes that we have better relationships with, who we know do most of the drills correctly. So you are, that is something that coaches have done where you're filming an athlete doing the drill. Pros and cons, if an athlete's doing it, maybe they're not going to do it as perfectly. But it may make it easier for you to provide the voiceover. So if you do want to provide some color on like what's being worked on and in actual like the audio portion, it might be a little bit easier, especially if, luckily for, thinking through my experience with this, luckily for me as a throwing coach, for most of my drills, there's not a ton of like high speed movement or anything like that. Like I'm not, running around or anything. So it might be a little bit more challenging for you to provide voiceover if it's more of an active drill. Having said that, you could, speak for a few seconds, do the drill, come back, speak for a few seconds, something like that. But yeah, either one is fine. You can have the athlete do it. You can do it, whatever you're more comfortable with and whatever you think is going to be the better product. Related to the actual, like the mechanics of filming, the way that I like to think about it is, if the first one is kind of the hardest, and it's like, where do I start? What I've been recommending is think back to your last in-person session with a client. You probably did 10 to 15 different drills, maybe some slightly different variations on those drills. Go through step by step and just film each one and describe it. If you did an hour-long session, you probably did an example of those 10 to 12 drills in like a minute each. The whole thing should only take you 20 minutes. And again, it's something you've explained many, many times. So once you start, you'll feel comfortable about kind of getting into that flow and going through and just going through the different types of activities that you'll want to describe. Yep. So again, it is live and it's available for every sport. Okay. So, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes designing some of these things that are perfect for each sport, because each sport has its own nuances and everything. So you'll see, I'm sure, you'll see some things that might not be perfect for what you're looking to do. I know with some of the coaches that I've talked to, especially in track and field and in running, this is kind of important to note. Not everything does require a video to be attached to it. So like when you're uploading content, you don't need to have a video attached to it. And the only reason I'm bringing this up for those two sports in particular is if you're designing like a running program or a workout program where the actual skill and tutorial side maybe isn't as important as like scheduling out what the cadence is. So, maybe it's sprints within a certain amount of time for a certain amount of reps, etc. You can upload a PDF file, or you can just describe the workout. You don't need to have a video attached to it. And that is relevant for other sports as well, so it is important. I know like when I assign a bullpen session, which is just, an athlete throwing 30 pitches, it's not so much, video tutorial. It's more, this sequence of events. So for those, I've uploaded a PDF where it just outlines, pitch by pitch what they're going to be doing during that bullpen. All right. So question on ability to sign in. So one of the things that, again, this is something I can follow up and troubleshoot with anybody who is having any sort of issue signing in. The only thing I will say is just make sure that you're signed out of your existing coach account prior to trying to sign in. There are a little bit of this gets into a little bit more of the technical aspect of this, but basically we're using your CoachUp login, your existing CoachUp login information in order to sign you in. So you don't need to create an account or anything like that. You just need to sign into your existing account. But in order for that to work properly, you need to make sure that you're logged out of all CoachUp accounts. So sometimes coaches might have like an athlete account that they've used to test things out. So if you're like logged into your athlete account and trying to sign in, it might create some issues for you. When in doubt, I don't know if you all notice here, but I'm actually using an incognito window because I'm also logged in separately as a different CoachUp for my client account. So that's why I'm on this. So an incognito window might help with that also. But again, if you have continued issues with that, definitely let me know. And I'm sure we can get to the bottom of it. Okay. Just some other quick features here. You'll see under the communication section. Okay. You can actually send push notifications to your athletes as well. And you can pre-schedule these out. So if maybe you want to send them a reminder, we've actually had a couple coaches that are sending a push notification with just like an inspirational quote. And again, you can pre-schedule those out. So if you want to sit down and find 5 good quotes maybe every Sunday night, you're just going to research 5 good inspirational quotes, and you're going to pre-schedule a motivational push notification to all of your athletes. every morning at 8 a.m., something like that. Like we've seen a couple of coaches do things similar to that. That can be pretty useful. You can do, same with text and email, but basically you just add the athletes that you want to send it to here, type in the content, and you can pre-schedule all of that out and send it to them. So that can be pretty useful as far as, and that's just getting back to, we want this to be we want the athletes that you're working with, when they're thinking about how to get better within their respective sport, we want you to be the first thing that they think of, right? We don't want you to be like this outside consultant who comes in and works with them once a month, and maybe you tweak some things but then they tend to regress back to what they were doing before. Some coaches have success with that, but I think that if we're being honest with ourselves, I think that we all know that true development requires a lot of time, and it requires a lot of training. And I think that it's also fair to say that not many athletes have the resources to have one-on-one time with you and make it make sense financially for everybody for enough time that it takes to actually get better. So this is intended to be that complementary service to play off of your one-on-one sessions, to get that increased development without, but at a price point that doesn't require a ton of work on your end, and also isn't breaking the bank for the client. And that's kind of, if you take a few steps back from the actual features and everything like that is the core concept behind this. And that's why we're really excited about it, because we think that it is really, it is a revenue stream for you, but we also think that it's going to be a way for athletes to have some, make some meaningful impact and actually create the development that we're all looking for here. Okay. So again, I apologize. There are a couple of questions that I didn't get to, but I do want to try and keep us on time here. So what I will do is, again, the webinar recording will be sent in a follow-up, and then we will be sending out some further information on, just some of the benefits and going over some of the features via email. And on the bottom of those emails will be some time to schedule with me if you want to go over this more in depth. I hope this was helpful for you. And I do think that this is going to be something that, if you are willing to put in the time up front and create some of the content, I do think that it's going to be something that can be really, really beneficial for your business. Because if you just look like a recurring monthly revenue stream where that's also increasing the level of engagement that you have with your athletes, is that's kind of where that next level of growth is going to come from, I believe. So we're excited about it, and we're excited to help you learn about it more, and anything that we can do over the next couple weeks, just let us know. Okay. Look forward to scheduling some time with you all, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks.